Only on Fox tonight, Spartanburg City Council met with the city's police chief. They had a candid conversation about police brutality, discussing steps the department is already taking to prevent it. Good evening once again. I'm Victoria Carmen.
And I'm Cody Alcorn. Only on Fox, we are talking to the police chief about their policies regarding use of force. Fox Carolina's Berkeley Cromer live at the Spartanburg Police Department. So, Berkeley, what message did Chief Thompson have for City Council tonight?
Well, the chief says that he wants the community to be involved, and in fact, he encourages people to go to meetings and to go on ride-alongs. He says transparency is key. Now, one city council member also echoed this message. He's praising Chief Thompson's leadership and saying it all starts at the top.
They're going to kill me. They're going to kill me. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Please, sir. Please.
George Floyd's last words, spoken by council member Erica Brown.
Please, I can't breathe.
Those 3 words now heard around the world. And here locally, law enforcement is taking note.
Trying to educate or remind council and the public who's viewing on some of the things that we are currently doing, that we have in place, but also being open to further review, because transparency is very important.
An emotional city council meeting as Spartanburg Police Chief Alonzo Thompson spoke about use of deadly force and how his department strives to prevent what happened in Minneapolis from happening here.
Well, obviously our policy prohibits chokeholds and strikes to the groin or to the head and the neck area unless it's deadly force type situation.
And deadly force is something Chief Thompson says is only used when someone's life is in danger.
Someone is posing an imminent threat of danger to either an officer or a third party, and the actions must be reasonably objective in any use of force.
To help hold them accountable, the chief says their department requires officers to wear body cams on all calls and meet with citizen review boards each month.
We have people that misstep, they make mistakes, and we investigate and we correct the behavior. We go out each and every day, though, however, trying to do things the right way at the right time for the right reasons. We're well trained, we know what our mission is, we know we're here to protect and serve and do it in a respectful manner.
Now, the chief tells us they have 2 citizen review boards that meet monthly. He says both are part of the investigation and discipline process. Live in Spartanburg, Berkeley Cromer, Fox Carolina, the 10 o'clock news.
Berkeley, thanks to developing story tonight. Community activists came together in downtown Greenville to demand change. Now, Jack Logan have put down the guns. Now young people teamed up with activist Candace Brewer, speaking to people about the need for new laws when it comes to criminal justice. Ex-offenders were also there to talk about their experiences in the court system.
I got to remind the voters, those lawmakers work for us. We don't work for them. They're supposed to do what we ask them to do. And today we're asking South Carolina lawmakers, whoever's elected, starting tomorrow, that they make laws to help people instead of hurting so many people.
Organizers say they want people to research who the representatives are to push for reform. Democratic Sheriff candidate Paul Guy is calling for a Citizens Law Enforcement Review Board. We were there this morning as Guy and other former Greenville County law enforcement officers called for the creation of this panel. They want to see accountability, transparency, and greater trust between the citizens and law enforcement.
The primary goal of both entities is law enforcement accountability and law enforcement transparency, is protection of the citizen and actually the protection of deputies as related to the Greenville County Sheriff's Office.
These commissions are successful in many cities already. We can enter into this conversation, even though we are in a time of crisis, knowing that these are well-considered and well-reasoned plans that have been given lots of deliberation already.
Later this week, the group plans to have an open community dialogue on the need of the establishment at the First Christian Church in Greenville. Well, in a follow-up tonight, we're hearing from the man who cleaned up after someone vandalized dozens of graves at a church in Powdersville. Ramar Rucker is the owner of Be Clean in Anderson County. He spent hours making sure the final resting place was back in order. The Anderson County Sheriff's Office is investigating the case. They have some leads and they're offering a reward to find who did this vandalism. Fox Carolina's Jarvis Robertson is live tonight with the emotional story from this business owner. And Jarvis, this thing went viral when people saw this man out there cleaning.
Well, it did, and a lot of people are excited and happy that he did this. Cody Remar worker doesn't have any other employees with Be Clean LLC, so for him going out to do this was something from his heart. In the process, he also got an emotional revelation.
I've been in business for about 3 years.
All by himself, Remar Worker is the owner of Be Clean LLC. Friday afternoon, he made a trip to Salome Baptist Church Cemetery to clean tombstones after someone defaced them with graffiti.
We as human beings, we know right from wrong, you know, and I just knew it was wrong, and I know that that's something that I could get rid of.
Rucker says he spent roughly 4 hours pressure washing around 45 headstones.
I parked my truck and I'm just walking through the graveyard, but I'm just walking through like looking at every single tombstone. I already got a game plan, you know, the way I park, where I'm pulling my hose.
This task started as a kind gesture, which eventually turned into an emotional moment for the entrepreneur. The last headstone he cleaned shared a name he grew to love and cherish.
That's my grandmother. That's my grandmother's last name. And she passed in December.
A moment Rucker holds dear to his heart from that day forward.
She's definitely watching over me.
The kind gesture of this business owner hasn't gone unnoticed. The outpouring of support he's gotten from the community leaves him with a sense of gratitude and fulfillment.
Hope and love. They made me feel like I'm somebody.
Now, Rucker has been in contact with the pastor of Salome Baptist Church. He and that pastor do plan to sit down later this week for lunch. As for the vandalism, according to the Anderson County Sheriff's Office, there is a $500 reward available for any information that leads to an arrest. Reporting live in Greenville tonight, I'm Jarvis Robertson, Fox Carolina, the 10 o'clock news.
Jarvis, thanks so much. I'm glad we tracked him down and got that story. Awesome thing he did. New tonight, a Spartanburg family is calling for justice nearly 7 years after this teenager was killed out trick-or-treating with her little brother. 17-year-old Erica Fields was hit by a car on Fernwood Drive in 2013. She pulled her little brother to safety, and the crash was ruled an accident, and no charges were ever filed. Tonight, Erica's friends and family met at the YMCA for a protest calling for more to be done in this case. We did reach out to Spartanburg police about the protest. Police said, quote, the investigation was thoroughly investigated in 2013 and no charges were filed based on the evidence.
And returning to the coronavirus now, Greenville County now a hot spot for COVID-19 as cases continue to rise. Here's a look at the heat map used by DHEC to show the increase in cases over the past week. Greenville County in the top left, almost 140 cases confirmed in the county over the weekend, with another 116 today. DHEC says with a recent boost in testing, they've determined much of the spread is within families. Communities of color have been seeing a large increase in cases, with a 30% of new cases being from the Hispanic population. And if you'd like to be tested, you can find a list of testing sites inside of our Fox Carolina News app. And after being closed for more than 2 months, the Greenville Zoo is now open to the public. All guests, including members, will have to either reserve a time or buy a ticket before visiting. Tickets will not be sold on site. To ensure safe social distancing, only a limited number of tickets will be available each day. And Topgolf Greenville is back open too. It was shut down due to the coronavirus, of course. It's made several changes, including online reservations to reduce wait times. They installed dividers between golf bays too. There'll be staggered check-in times and health checks. Employees will always be required to wear masks during their shifts and gloves when handling both food and drinks. And here's a look at those daily case numbers in South Carolina. 542 cases confirmed today, a huge increase. You can see those numbers increasing over the last few days compared to just last week even. And in North Carolina, the state hits a tragic milestone in the pandemic. Governor Roy Cooper announced the state surpassed 1,000 deaths due to COVID-19. Officials say they saw the highest rate of hospitalization since the outbreak began. Governor Cooper says between protests and businesses reopening, people must remember to take precautions.
Now, with all the challenges we face opening schools, boosting our economy, and tackling racism head on, we must remember that this virus is still out there and can be deadly. In our jobs, in our protests, in our recreations, and in our everyday lives, we must protect ourselves, our families, and the people around us.
Governor Cooper says if you've been in any kind of crowd, to please get tested. And here are those overall numbers in North Carolina, more than 36,400 cases with 1,006 deaths. And in Georgia, nearly 52,500 cases overall with more than 2,200 people dying. For the latest on the pandemic and other breaking news stories, make sure you download our Fox Carolina News app. Dabo Swinney breaking his silence after a coach is accused of using a racial slur. Sports director Aaron Teslock breaks down why the Tigers coach says there's more to that story.
Plus, we're getting our first look at the man police say stole 2 cars and then led them on a chase down Pelham Road. Stick with us for this one. And tonight's winning lottery numbers, these are your midday numbers. Your pick 3, 273, your pick 4, 2514, and your evening numbers. Your pick 3, 338, your pick 4, 4972, and your cash 5, 517, 18, 33, 37, and your multiplier is 3. And real fast, we have some breaking news we're going to be giving you. We're heading to our second shooting in Greenville County tonight. Stay with us, folks.
You're watching Fox Carolina News, the local station.
Mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It was as good as it can be.
You're watching Fox Carolina News, the local station.
Welcome back. We're getting our first look at a man deputies say stole 2 cars and took both of them on a chase. This is Charles Doherty Scaleri. He's been charged with grand larceny and carjacking, among others. The Greenville County Sheriff's Office says he caused this crash just outside of our Fox Carolina station yesterday. Deputies say he pointed a gun inside the Sphinx just down Pelham Road before taking off in a stolen car. Now, a short time later, he crashed along Roper Mountain Road, and from there, deputies were setting up a perimeter, but Doherty Scolari stole another car from the Days Inn parking lot, leading deputies on another chase. A trooper then used the pit maneuver to stop him along Pelham Road. The Easley Police Department investigating after a person was found dead at a motel on Saturday. Police say Cody Bennett died at the Baymont Inn. There are no signs of foul play, but his death is considered suspicious. A homicide investigation underway after a man was found shot in Greer. Police responded to a shooting at a home on Will Street. When they arrived, they found a person suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. The coroner says Marquise Ritchie died while in surgery this morning. Police say he answered the front door to his home, got into an argument with two people before he was shot. Anybody with information about this should call the Greer Police Department. A Union High School graduate died after her car went off the road and hit a tree. The coroner says 17-year-old Shelley Ann Marie Burgess died Saturday. The accident happened on Highway 150 near Glen Springs Road. A passenger in the car with Burgess was taken to the hospital with injuries. The superintendent of Union County Schools released a statement saying the Union County School District is deeply saddened by the loss of another member of our Jacket family. We want to offer our deepest condolences to the family of Shelley Burgess. And for the latest on all of these stories, make sure you download our Fox Carolina News app.
New tonight, both Clemson and South Carolina football began to work their way back to the practice field. The Tigers reported today in Clemson for a medical test before voluntary workouts. The Gamecocks started their workouts today. While college football fans are excited their teams are getting back on the field, both Dabo Swinney and Will Muschamp are making headlines for off-the-field comments. Sports director Aaron Cheslock with us tonight. So we'll start with Dabo. He responded to a lot of national criticism finally. He was even getting criticized for not responding for a few days.
Yeah, Cody Swinney broke his silence tonight, saying that he does support the Black Lives Matter movement, and affirms that any allegation about him using a racial slur in a locker room incident where inappropriate music was playing is completely false. Swinney also says that he's going to offer some clarity about the story that broke last week about Clemson's assistant coach using a racial slur in a response. He was repeating the racial slur, talking about Danny Pearman. Swinney says the story that came out last week was not in full context. It happened 3 years ago on the practice field. Swinney says Pearman was correcting former tight end DJ Greenlee and repeated a racial slur that Greenlee had said first. Swinney acknowledges there's no excuse for Pearman to have repeated it, but says there is a difference between calling someone a racial slur and what actually happened. Swinney adds Greenlee came to him and they resolved it privately. Pearman apologized profusely, according to Swinney, and calls the incident out of character for him.
There wasn't anything swept under the rug. There wasn't some dirty secret. We handled it head on. And also will say that forgiveness and grace, I think, is important. It's important for any of us. But I've known Danny Pearman for 30 years. And Danny Pearman is a good man. He's had incredible relationships with his players. So this was totally out of character, but we dealt with it and we moved on.
In response to other allegations, Swinney says he never forbid anyone from protesting at a sit-in at Sykes Hall, and that his T-shirt that went viral saying, quote, "Football matters," was not to mock the Black Lives Matter movement, calling the implication an attack on his character. More on this coming up at 11. To the Gamecocks now, who, unlike the video from spring practice you're seeing here, held a socially distant voluntary workout on day one in Columbia. Media not allowed to film voluntary workouts. The Gamecocks made headlines on Friday when participating in a protest against police brutality and racial inequality in Columbia. Head coach Will Muschamp says the teams had meetings about those issues this past week. And while the team wasn't required to attend the protest, Muschamp made it clear he'd be there front and center.
I share the anger and frustration that we have witnessed across the country. My thoughts and prayers go out to the family and friends of George Floyd and others who have seen a similar fate. The police brutality and misconduct that occurred in Minneapolis, what has happened in other places in our country, including right here in South Carolina, is unacceptable and needs to stop. Enough is enough. It is sad that in 2020 we're having these conversations. The two unacceptable words at this time as a team that we talked about was silence and violence. Actions are louder than words. I can put out a paragraph on social media that does nothing compared to what we did Friday as a football team. But the actions are what we need. We can't be silent about racial inequality at this time.
Muschamp adds that he wishes the world was simply more like a locker room. While not everyone loves or likes each other, everyone respects one another. More from the South Carolina coach coming up at 11 as well. We'll also head to the high school level. Some football teams in the upstate started their voluntary workouts under strict guidelines from the South Carolina High School League. We'll check in with Easley and Wren High in a jam-packed sportscast just minutes from now at 11.
Now, time for Fox Carolina weather. Weather Rate certified most accurate local forecast.
And we have a few downpours that we're tracking here just before the 11 o'clock hour. A downpour that just crossed I-40 into northwestern McDowell County, just west of Black Mountain. And it is moving at a pretty steady rate of speed. Also a few showers in Hendersonville and Henderson County. A few more developing to the west of there over Jackson and Haywood County as well. Upstate, meanwhile, we're sitting dry and a little bit on the cloudy side, and better get used to that here these next couple of days. Hit or miss showers tonight, tomorrow morning. Patchy fog and drizzle also going to be possible. And looking ahead to your Tuesday, it won't be anything close to a wash. I'll have a couple of patches of drizzle in the morning. Those will move east to the 77 corridor. Might sneak in a few peaks of sunshine during that early afternoon time frame, but more showers are likely to enter later in the evening toward dinner hour Tuesday. So pretty similar setup today at the end of the day. So honest to goodness, really not too much more rain than what we had today. Maybe a touch more, but not that much. We really increased that rain amount on Wednesday, and that also includes the threat for some thunderstorms, a couple of which that could be on the strong to severe side. That's why the Storm Prediction Center has put most of our area in the marginal risk area. That's 1 out of 5 on the scale of 1 to 5. Off chance that damaging wind and large hail could happen in a couple of thunderstorms. There's what's left of Tropical Depression Cristobal, I should say. Just getting the 11 o'clock update, so our system is still transitioning that, but its outer bands are even well west of our area. High temperatures today, not really as hot as they were yesterday, but boy, you could feel it in the humidity, and also a pretty solid sign that it's very humid out. Looking at a map is that temperatures are still very warm and aren't cooling very quickly. And look at these dew points, just downright sultry outside. Lower to middle 70s is what we're experiencing. That is tropical air, and you can really feel it as you go outside. 72 with isolated showers and patchy fog in the upstate tonight. Mountain, same deal, 67 for your morning low temperature on Tuesday. So patches of drizzle and fog again to start your Tuesday. We'll be in the 80s in the upstate by lunchtime. A little more afternoon shower coverage compared to the morning. High temperatures will reach the middle and upper 80s under mostly cloudy skies. So not a complete loss of a day. Honestly, I think it still deserves a passing one. So we're going to rate the day a 7 out of 10 on the Carolina Sky Meter. So honestly, not too bad. We'll go down a little bit on Wednesday in terms of our rating. Not a washout, but late day thunderstorms are certainly going to be possible. High temperatures then are in the middle 80s Thursday through Saturday, and humidity is also going to back off a lot starting on Thursday. So beautiful dry weather takes over on Thursday after Wednesday's rain. A reminder for the latest forecast, you can tune into the Morning News 4:30 to 9 a.m.
Fox Carolina Senior Shoutouts are sponsored by Publix. Congratulations to all 2020 graduates from Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
And a shout out to Cameron Watson. He's graduating from Dorman High School. His family says he wants to take part in the video game industry after high school. And a shout out to Logan Dow. He's graduating from Hart County High School. He will head to Georgia Southern and major in construction management. And we do want to give a shout out to all the 2020 seniors. If you'd like to give your senior a shout out, head to foxcarolina.com or check out our free app. You'll find a link to submit your picture.